Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
This is really interesting. The Democrats are flipping out over EA being sold to the Saudis and Jared Kushner because apparently EA is that important.
I was like, why?
That we have to get the government involved. Yeah. So over 40 Democrats signed a letter saying they had concerns, and all of this is tied together. Because we're also talking about how, once the sale goes through, whatever is going to happen with it, that, they'll probably do something about the unions because, we have unions, and they'll probably do something about all the LGBTQ content.
Well, see, here's what I'm thinking. Like, if you hear of a company being sold to something that's a very, very far left organization, they're going to start inserting shit into it. You don't hear 40, people signing an agreement, or, we're going to do something about it, politicians. And even if they did, what can you do about it? Really? It's a company.
It's their company.
They would argue, well, they've been shoving shit into stuff, and then they argue, well, it's their company. They can do what they want to do. But but the other way around, we have to stop it.
Yeah, so I don't see people lining up to try, other than Trump, to stop the Netflix Warner Brothers thing. You know what I'm saying? But because Netflix
just don't buy EA stuff. If you don't like it, then just don't buy it.
EA's a very predatory company anyway. They really are. They're one of the worst gaming companies out there when it comes to monetization. But we're gonna talk about this because this just shows kind of, I guess, if you want to talk culture war stuff, culture war. If you want to talk culture war stuff, these big game companies are definitely hockey pucks being used in, the game. And this shows, that we have the Democrats signing a letter to try to stop it, or they have concerns or whatever. It just shows how important a company the size of EA is to the culture war stuff.
I don't
because
understand.
Why should it matter?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, just don't play those games then. I don't understand it. And plus, EA, even if they're mad about it, what they're worried about is because the Saudis are partly owning it, that they're going to walk back the LGBTQ stuff.
That's exactly
and the
what
union stuff
and
that they've had going on.
Yeah.
But that's what I think they're worried about.
Yep.
And just don't buy the games then. And I don't think they're going to, because they already have games out there, like The Sims and stuff. Is that what they're talking about, Sims?
Yeah.
They already have a lot of those games out that you could buy that aren't online all the time, and you could play it there.
So we'll talk about this. And look, at the end of the day, even if they take the gay away from The Sims, there are plenty of mods. You can put it right back in.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in there. Are they worried they're going to say you can't mod that stuff? I'm like, why? That's what you guys do all the damn time.
Yeah, you have to subscribe to it, and if you mod it, it's going to avoid the
But they keep going after people. You modded it to make it this. It took the pronouns out, and we're mad. You can't do that. But then they'll be like demanding they should be allowed to mod it the way they want to mod it.
Exactly.
Add stuff in.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, I say yes either way. If whatever.
If it's your game and you paid for it and you want whatever.
I mean, I might not be something I would do, but if you want to do it, you should be allowed to, as long as it wasn't hurting anyone.
Oh my God! Back in the early days of The Sims, some of the mods they had out there were like, what the hell?
You had some.
I had some
patches
pretty
and stuff on there, yeah.
Spicy mods, yeah. Some interesting mods. It was like, oh my God, what is going on? So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. If you do, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo.
Go. That sounds like one of the Sims. Like woohoo.
There you go.
And then just have to speak Simlish. I don't even know how to speak it. Go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more. ClownFishTV.com. If you want to support the channel, we do not have super chats over here or anything like that. So that is the best way to support us, and you get some bonus content. So thank you very much for that. So this comes from PC Gamer. More than 40 U.S. Democrats call for a thorough investigation of EA's Saudi-led buyout over. This is a hell of a headline. Over EA's Saudi-led buyout over risks of layoffs, studio closures, and coordinated anti-labor practices.
Gotta get all those keywords in there.
Yes. So basically, they're worried they're going to break up the unions and shut down studios, which they absolutely will. I mean, see also Ubisoft. I mean, they've been
the companies are doing
like
that anyway.
They have to.
It has nothing to do with Saudis. They just want to put that in there too because they're afraid they're going to take their gay away. They already
That's
said
what
they
I think
weren't
it
going
is.
to change that stuff. I thought the EA already came out and said that they weren't going to change all that.
They did. And I brought that up on Blue Sky, of all places. They said the Sims team says its values are unchanged after Saudi buyout.
Right.
Well,
They've been saying that.
we shall see. Where it goes, whoever pays the bills, right? So this is, again, to go back to the Warner Brothers things. If the Warner Brothers thing, if Paramount did win the bid for Warner Brothers, there would be all kinds of screeching about it because Paramount is run by the Ellisons, who are
They're mad about Netflix
besties
winning it too. So
yeah, there's no pleasing.
there's no literal winning in this situation.
No. So yeah, 3 months after Senators Richard Blumenthal and Elizabeth Warren, she's
when is
pissed about
Elizabeth Warren?
everything.
She's into everything. Every time there's any kind of anything out there, she is. It's ridiculous.
She expressed profound concern about the foreign influence and national security risks that could. Wait a second, you weren't concerned about TikTok. Profound concern of the foreign influence and national security risks that could result from the Saudi-led takeover of EA. 46 House Democrats have joined in the chorus with a letter calling on FTC Chair Andrew Ferguson to carefully scrutinize the takeover. Not any Republicans. This is about Kushner being involved in it.
Probably in Saudi Arabia. That's what it's about. And it's like, I was laughing because Elizabeth Warren has to stick her nose and everything, but she's not worried about the fact there should be term limits because there should be. She's always in there sticking her nose in stuff because there are no term limits. I'm going to argue that we need to have term limits. Sorry, that's neither here nor there. I just
it's I think we need to. How come all the people who are in charge of the country are over 75 years old?
And how come they get to keep being in charge even when they're dumbasses? Term limits. Anyway, continue.
Limits. The letter's signatories, led by Labor Caucus co-chairs Stephen Horsford, Debbie Dingell, Mark Pokin,
I'm so sorry.
Donald Norcross, say they have serious concerns.
Wait, it's Dingle and Pokin?
Dingle and Pokin, yeah.
Oh.
Pokin Dingle.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go, guys. One thing leads to another. They have serious concerns that the acquisition will lead to layoffs, studio closures, wage suppression, and an unwelcome concentration of sports and entertainment brand ownership that could lead to anti-competitive coordination. Well, they do own the WWE now, too, right? So, I just
think it's funny. They're all worried about that now, but it's okay, when other places do it.
Median worker pay at EA has declined steeply year over year. The letter states a trend that suggests the company may already face limited competitive pressure to retain and reward talent. If they can't afford to because the games aren't selling.
But I must don't work there.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a bunch of other companies that have lowered their pay or they've kept it the same, so it's stagnated, and then they add more work onto people. And I'm not saying it's right. It's really shit. Just don't work there then. Yeah,
because EA is notorious for expecting its workers to sleep on a cot in the in their offices or whatever.
Just don't work there. There's other places. There. It's not like it's the only place that you can work. There's other places.
In AAA, not so much. Indie, yes. AAA.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You might have to go to indie, but yeah.
If you're good, see, this is what they're afraid of. They want a cushy job where they can hide. These developers, they want to be able to hide in a company, but it's going to get to a place where that is no longer going to be feasible in the video game industry. You're either going to have to be somebody who brings it, who actually has real value to the team that you're on, or you're going to be putting the fries in the bag, as the kids like to say.
I just think that that means something different now, but I don't understand. Don't work there then, and I don't understand. There's so many other companies out there that are doing the same thing. I'm not saying it's the right thing, but I'm just saying it's if the company's not making money, what do you expect them to do?
It goes on to say that EA has eliminated more than 1,700 jobs since 2023 and warns that even deeper cuts could result if the acquisition is closed because of the massive debt financing involved, which creates strong incentives for the acquiring firms to pursue further cost-cutting measures, including layoffs, offshoring, restructuring, or studio closures. See also every other effing company.
I was going to say, everybody else is doing that too. What's the alternative? They can't stay open, so they should then everybody gets cut.
And we'll talk about the union responding to it too. But here we go. This is, again, coming from PC Gamer. The letter does not mention, but I'm going to, the impact of Saudi ownership on future EA releases. Saudi Arabia is notoriously hostile to LGBTQ plus people, criminalizing same-sex relationships, and has a long history of repressing human rights for women and girls. That's not a great ownership environment for games like The Sims and Dragon Age. Well, I think Dragon Age is effing done. Both of which have come to be known for their embrace of diverse representation.
But meanwhile, the people that this is funny to me. They're mad about it when it comes to the gaming, but when they're in the country, you're not allowed to complain about it. You know what I'm saying? The same people that you're mad about involving gaming, you're like this, they're anti-LGBTQ and women's rights and all that stuff are the people that you're defending that you don't want removed in the country.
So
I really wish you'd pick a fucking side.
Yeah, I know, right? So this come from Her Campus. It's the same thing. Sims 4 players are outraged, guys. They're outraged. Many players have expressed concern that Sims could lose its inclusivity following the Saudi investment. The game has long been praised as one of the most inclusive franchises, allowing players to create characters of all genders, represent different races, and play same-sex couples. Given that Saudi Arabia has strict laws surrounding same-sex marriage and women's rights, players worry these diverse aspects of the game could be removed or deprioritized.
I'm sorry, I just
as
can't.
A result of the investment.
I can't wrap my head around the double standard here. Like, we have to stop that. We can't have it because that's bad. That's really bad that they do this thing and it's against the law and all that other stuff. It's also against the law in some religions. I'm not going to mention which one specifically, but you're all like demanding that, and white knighting for these people and, LGBTQ for Palestine and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm just very confused right now. It's very conflicting. You're just contradicting yourself right and left. But I guess because it's your game that you're mad about.
Yeah, it's weird because they're talking about Sims 4 because Sims 4 really kind of came off the rails, but they're also like Sims 4 isn't as good. They admit Sims 4 is not as good as Sims 2 and Sims 3, but here we go, guys. Nevertheless, The Sims has always been more than just a game. It's been a space for creativity, community, and representation. The recent investment has left many players and creators feeling uncertain about the future of a franchise they deeply care about. While the game has made important progress toward inclusivity, the backlash highlights how much trust has been built through community feedback and how fragile trust can be. Maybe we'll actually get Sims 5.
Okay, but maybe, but... If you have a copy of it though, 2 and 3 if you own copies of it, and even 4 if you own copies of it, what's the problem? Like, I know a lot of the digital, but there's like a lot of physical stuff too. So
what
I don't understand the issue.
What do they always say? You can go back and watch the old movies. You can go back and read the old books, the original version.
It's not for you. You can
it's
watch.
Not for
no
you.
one's stopping you from watching what you like and going back and watching that stuff. That's what they say. Same.
It's not for you.
No one's. If you own it, then no one's taking it away from you.
So, I mean, really what this is about is they're going to try to maximize profit. And the reason EA is getting bought out is because they were losing money, right? I mean,
maybe if they did stuff people wanted to buy, they wouldn't lose money.
Yeah. And The Sims, I'm sorry, The Sims is really predatory now. I mean, it always kind of was because it was like, even back in the day, like I used to play Sims 1 all the damn time. And I had like every expansion, but they were optional. But now it's just like every little microtransaction. It is very much an EA game at this point because EA is very, very predatory. So this is United Video Game Union writes to U.S. Fed in protest of Saudi EA acquisition, attaching public petition. And they're going to say, yeah, we don't give a shit. We don't give a shit. So the union has written to the Federal Trade Commission in opposition to the proposed acquisition of EA by private investors. They're mad about Kushner, including Saudi Arabia's public investment fund and various investment firms. The letter published on Action Network lays out the case against the acquisition, stating that EA is not a struggling company, and any jobs lost as a result of the sale will be a choice, not a necessity made to pad investor pockets, not strengthen.
But they could turn around, just lay you off, and say it's a choice of the company that has nothing to do with selling it to Saudi Arabia or investors.
Ubisoft was laying people off before they sold a bunch of stuff off or merged with Tencent or whatever the hell actually went on over there, and they just laid a bunch more people off because their stock dropped off a cliff, and then they've got the workers they have left don't want to come to work in the office now. They like being remote workers. And it's like, well, you got to pick and choose here because the company's failing. So
that's what I'm saying. saying. It's like, because it's going to cause layoffs. Well, you could have layoffs whether they sell it to them or not.
Yep. So here they are. They're bringing it up. They said, how likely is it the U.S. would block such a deal? Well, while some members of the government have criticized the deal, the Financial Times reported it will likely face little pushback due to the involvement of the current president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. But
even then, it's going to face not very much pushback because most normies don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
Let's be honest here. And what I'm hearing is we're mad Kushner and Saudis are buying it. That's the reason.
All it is.
Because your excuses are all they are is excuses. Because what you're mad about, saying, it could cause layoffs. It could have layoffs even if they didn't buy it. A lot of the gaming companies are laying off even without a purchase by somebody else. It's likely going to face that. If they don't get bought out, more people will probably get laid off than if they did. So you could lose. Everybody could lose their job, or just a few people. And the other thing you're complaining about is the diversity angle, because they don't like it over there in Saudi Arabia. And I'm like, just because they don't like it there doesn't. They also want to make money, and they know what their market is here. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't mean they're going to change it. They might not let it go the way it is to be sold in their country, but they're also not going to limit everything in this country if it's going to cost them money. I don't think. And even if they did, how can you get mad about that? But then support the same things when they're in the country, when they're in our country.
This is, exactly. This is kind of funny. This comes from Aftermath. These are a bunch of people that I guess they work for Polygon and Kotaku, whatever, and they started their own site.
The usual suspects.
Usual suspects. Because you know what?
Yes.
I'll give them that they went and started their own thing. But they said
always credit that. Always give credit to that.
EA says it will retain creative control following Saudi sale, but come on. If you take EA as word, I have a bridge to sell you. Same with Netflix. It's the same. Everybody's like, oh, Netflix says they're going to keep Warner Brothers around and they're going to keep everything intact and they're going to do theatrical and everybody gets to keep their jobs. Oh, boy. I'm like, when the ink dries, we'll see.
I mean, are they going to say what they want to? Are they going to say what you want to hear to get the push through? Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So, they're basically saying that we're going to be guided by our cultural values of creativity, pioneering, passion, determination, learning, and teamwork, and they will maintain creative control, and creative freedom and player first values will remain intact. They did not say, they danced around the issue. They didn't say, well, we're going to double down on diversity and inclusion, and that's what they're worried about. At the end of the day, they're like, okay, our attempts at unionization, it's not going to work. Some of our friends might get fired, and we're not going to have a bunch of gay stuff in The Sims. That's what they're worried about. That's basically it.
If you boil it down, that's what
if you boil it down. But the fact that we've got a whole bunch of Democrats, they're so worried about. Do they all play The Sims? Are they worried? Are they worried about?
I don't know. That's what I'm like. Again, though, as I said, if Sims 2 and 3 are you think are better, then just go buy those or find ways to play those.
Sims 3 is the best. Sims 3 is the best.
Well, our daughter likes them, and she went and bought, what did she find? She found, was it 2? A whole bunch of the 2 at a garage sale and bought all of them.
Oh, yeah. She bought the physical, but they had the Sims Complete Collection at one point in time on Steam. It was every expansion for Sims 1, 2, and 3 for $60. I mean, that's
provided they're going to still, they're going to still support that later. Yeah. But digital, but even physical, you can buy physical copies of the stuff. So it's like you might not get every expansion or whatever, but you can mod it and things.
Just make a knockoff, make a one-off, call it the Simps, and and you can do whatever you want with that one. I don't know. Well, they have the other one. I can't remember what it's called, the Korean-made game, but they're mad about that too because there's not enough LGBTQ representation in that too. I'm like, mod it.
It's not for you. It's fine. Why does everything have to? Okay, this is what I don't understand. Why does it always have to be for you? That's what you used to argue. For people didn't like Disney Star Wars. People didn't like Princess of Power. You argue, well, not everything has to be to your taste. Not everything has to be for you. But yet you're doing the same thing. So pot or kettle. Why, I'll say the same thing you kept telling us over and over again. Go play the ones you like. Not everything has to be for you. That's what you kept saying. Yeah. And then you're going to argue, we're the fans. Well, so are we. But you said that not everything had to be for us. And you know what? It all went to shit. When you don't cater to what the original fans want, it all goes to shit. So there you go.
There you go. All right. So we're going to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.